Grunge became a noun. It seemed a way to pigeonhole a bunch of bands.
Along the way, somebody decided to call it grunge.
What is grunge? Does it involve a flannel shirt?
Hey-o! Welcome to The Grunge. I'm your host, Joseph Rose.
And I am your co-host, Jeremy Wood.
Today, Jerry, we are going to take...
Jerry,
God damn it.
Jerry Wood.
Today, I mean, listen, I feel better when you say Jeremy Wood.
It's all part of it.
Because that is your damn name.
It is my name, but it's a presentation. It's a Pavlov's dog thing.
You say Jeremy Wood.
Jeremy
and
Wood.
just, we're casual. I know you, so I'll call you Jerry.
When these people get to know me better is when I'll start going by Jerry. Only my friends can call me that.
These fucking people.
Yeah.
Today... did I say welcome to The Grunge? Here we are, guys. We're a podcast. We talk about Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, and then we slip off track and do a bunch of shit from other bands too.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just centralize it on four bands. This era was massive, huge.
Yeah, I think it was a really good time.
It was the
late
last time.
80s through the 90s. It was really the last great time. Now, is that true?
Well, for me, yes, because it's the last time ugly people could make music.
Well,
I mean, nowadays everything's packaged, everyone's beautiful.
I mean, is it true, really, or do we feel like it's true because this was our time?
Oh yeah, that is a good point.
Is it just a case of it was better back in my day?
That might be because the music you hear as a 39-year-old man trying to pick up a 39-year-old woman, which they are crazy.
I can't imagine picking up a 39-year-old woman, to be honest with you, but all right.
They're heavy. But they do. The whole idea. But
not touching it.
But at this point in our lives, when we were smelling new smells, feeling new feelings, new hairs, the grunge era was part of that, and they had a lot of hair. And I think that's why it's such a nice part of our lives. It was sunny. Sunny music from a dark place. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you said it, I was like, "Was the music very sunny?"
Well, yeah.
Most of these men have died from heroin overdoses.
Only a couple.
I mean,
and one keeps on escaping.
Yeah. Thank Jesus
Lord for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, before we get into it, shall we? I was thinking the other day. Someone asked me about you. So who the hell asked? I don't remember who even asked me. They listened to the podcast and they asked about you. They were like, "Who's Jerry? How do you know him? Where'd he come from?" or whatever.
Oh. And
I was just like generally like, "Oh, I've known him since high school." That's right?
Mm-hmm. We have known each other since high school.
But I have no recollection of how, where, when we actually met.
It had to do with Andy Warren. I think Andy, one of our
friend
friends,
Andy,
our Patreon. He helped us out. Well, he didn't help us. He introduced us. I remember vividly. You were with some girl at the time, and I think there was a sleepover. And this is when we were young. And I think you were involved in like some sort of weird sleepover. It was a
weird sleepover.
I don't know why I remember you while there was this movie. It was an anime. This would probably be my first ever real recollection of me hanging out with you in a group.
Where would this have been?
This was at his mom's apartment.
Our friend Andy's house.
Yeah,
okay.
In Glen Olden.
Yes.
So there was a sleepover with that guy. Some dude jumped out of the bathroom.
Not only was there a sleepover, right? I remember some sort of. It was like maybe a week where Andy's mom was gone.
Oh, that was a different party.
Okay.
That party. That's the one party. That's the one where we really got to know each other intimately.
I'll take your word for it.
No, was that Bobby's?
Bobby,
That's a different sleepover.
Different house.
That's a different episode.
Well, Jerry, you brought it up.
No, not right now.
You brought it up.
Not now. Let's just talk about the anime I was going to talk about. All right, there was fuck it. Let's talk about it. Okay. And this is our first ever videotaped one on a.
I was going to not mention that at all in case we never used the video.
No, it's happening, and now you can see expression, regret, and perhaps the last podcast that we do together.
This is not going to be
we take a point counterpoint view of what really happened and how our relationship was cemented. You've always been outspoken. You've always been a man who does not take to conformity. And I say that, and a lot of people do,
Okay.
and a lot of people say that, and it's something they wear as a robe, but they do conform. I conform. It's part of my job. It's my makeup. I'm a people pleaser. It's what I want to do. I had worked very hard, and there's a moment in life that we all have. We all have our first moments, learning to ride a bike. All right.
I remember learning to ride a bike.
Learning to ride a bike, the catching your first I don't know, ball, and literally I wasn't good at sports. Whatever, you catch a ball and somebody's out, so your success is someone else's disappointment. And with that being said, that's exactly what happened.
What are we saying here?
What I'm saying is that somebody became an Eskimo brother with me that I did not ask for. That is what's happening here, and there was a watershed moment in my life. I finally convinced a woman. I don't even know if convinced a woman. It might have been through like a young. It was consensual.
Let's be careful here with terminology and everything.
It was consensual. It was my first time. My first. Is this what we wanted on this? This is what we were talking about,
I'm
right?
just listening.
Okay, yeah. So now it's a therapy session. Right
listening.
before an album, I really could not listen through all the way through, and so this is it's just a dump. And I did listen to it all the way.
Wow, harsh. Wow. All right, we'll get to the album.
We will get to the album.
We do have an album to listen to today.
And I think the rest of this story should be on part 2 on the next episode.
Part 2 of what?
The grunge.
There is no part 2. It's sort of an ongoing series,
Part
hopefully.
2. The sequel.
Part 2 of 2.
If you want to know how my how a lifelong memory was ruined by the man who's sitting next to me, who's now my counterpart and who runs a very successful podcast. Excellent podcast. Gave me an opportunity to break out of my chains as a man who does conform. But now I can sit next to you and bask in your nonconformity.
So, all right, I feel like we had a story going,
I want to end it.
and then separately we had to talk about conformity.
Well, consensual. We talked about consensuality. We talked about. I don't know if we should.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about that Bobby Ann party.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
And so that was
I remember it.
That was a 5-day long party. One of those big parties that like what that was a long.
Yeah.
That really went. That was a lot of
Yeah,
memories.
that was at least a long weekend.
A lot of memories were made that day. I mean, it made that week. I mean, it's my first time I ever made a microwave meal. I cooked it halfway through, and it still was okay. It was like a steak. But I had managed to have young love, and
Jerry, listen.
somebody ruined it.
What are? Wait, are you so? I'm not sure if this is what you're saying, and I don't know that I ever knew this. During that party at that time, you had sex for the first time?
Yeah, that was my first time.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever known this.
Oh, you didn't know that was my I
never knew this.
lost my virginity that night.
I had no idea.
Oh my God.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
Oh well, and again,
I guess that colors the story.
Yeah, the lines are definitely blurred there. So you didn't know that, but
I never knew that
at the time. I mean, I didn't. I can't really say I was too totally concerned. It's like when you're a teenager, you just want to check it off the list. And same with same with the woman I was with, and I'd much prefer not to say her name, but
That's
but
fine.
the same with the woman I was with. We were just sort of thought that's what we had to do. But I
Jerry,
think
you
that
are hot as fuck on that mic right now.
Oh,
you
sorry.
are.
I'm right
It's
on
fine,
it.
it's fine.
But that's what we thought we had to do, and I think that's where it came from. But great watershed moment in my life, and then maybe 30 minutes after the fact.
No,
No,
stop it.
No, it wasn't that. I don't know what happened after. I don't know how we ended up. I don't know how you ended up in the same room with that person. I just remember my friend Dan saying, "It's like I think Joe's." I think Joe's.
I can
in the
only
room with
imagine what any normal person listening to this right now must be thinking. Like they just must feel like they've taken a wrong turn.
Yeah, this
They're
is
like, what the fuck is even being talked about right now, and
Right.
what have I walked into?
All right. Well, I mean, this is
All right.
something. That's how we really got
Listen,
to know
I
each
see
other.
that maybe you're not fully comfortable with talking about it.
Oh
so
no!
we don't have to.
Oh no! I'm completely comfortable talking about it.
okay.
I'm cool. I was doing.
All
I
right,
was just
so listen.
being open for
Listen, this is what Jerry's trying to explain. We were at this party. Unbeknownst to me, I may be just now learning that during this same event, Jerry was able to make love with a young woman for the very first time, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
At a young age myself, not now.
We're high school,
High
right?
school
We're
age,
somewhere 16, 17 in that range. So we're at this party with a whole bunch of our friends and acquaintances and whatnot. For whatever reason, my move when I at some point, arrived at this party, you hang out a little. I took it upon myself to go upstairs and find a nice room. I did. I believe it was the host's parents' bedroom is the room that I stumbled into by myself. And I went in there and I sort of just claimed that room. I decided this is going to be my little spot where I'm going to hang out. Sometimes I'm going to be in the mix with everybody. Sometimes I'm going to chill over in this area. And if anybody wanted to come hang with me, that was open, that was a possibility. At some point, an acquaintance of all of ours, one of our friends, I guess we're not mentioning her name, that's fine. She, I think, knocked on the door, and then, I said, "What's up? Come on in." And in she appeared. I was happy to see her. We had been friends for a little while. And so she and I spent time during the party hanging out together in that area of the house. And I guess it turns out that was the person that you had just recently lost your virginity to. Mm-hmm. That was the same person.
That was the same person. I now, are you uncomfortable? Because
I'm not. Listen, I was a child at the time. I have no regrets.
Every one of us was in a young age, and it was just one of those things.
Yeah, I have no regrets about. I was just.
I stayed at the party.
I was just living my childhood life.
Mm-hmm.
Life was happening to me at that point. I didn't even. I was thrown into this thing. I was fucking. I was awkward. I was, a weird kid. Whatever.
Every one of us. I mean, you got to think. My parents recently, everything was weird. I had recent divorces and things of that nature. So that's like the time was a blur. So nothing like that really affected me though in the long run.
Yeah.
It ended up starting in my life at least how I can lampoon, how I see the humor in this type of thing, because all of these things I was always very aware that were like check marks, because there is a humor to it.
Sure.
I mean, that story follows me, and it doesn't follow me a lot, like in a bad way, but it's a great story, and a story I've told to customers.
Oh, really?
So it's like there's nothing that affects me in this regard.
It's a shame. I wish that one day we could have this talk in the company of that third party.
It would make.
I would love for
fantastic.
that to go down, because I would just love to fill in all the blanks. I'd like to hear the story from a fresh perspective.
It was disappointing, I'm sure. And I think that's where it all went. And I've never lied about that. I'm mostly Irish. Things are not.
I don't know what that even means.
The rest of the podcast world will understand that we're not known for being notorious lovers, better drinkers.
Oh.
But again,
is that the word you wanted to use?
Better drinkers than lovers.
Notorious lovers.
Notorious lovers. Well, dude, But that is insane. You didn't know that.
I don't think I ever heard that until today.
Your expression changed. I was like, oh my God.
I had no idea.
That's when it got a little weird there. But you know what's cool?
I had no idea.
What's really cool about that is that most of her friends are going to hear that. And that's what makes this so cool is that we can sit across from each other.
You know what else is making it cool right now? The fact that just within moments here, it became clear that I am quite high.
Yeah.
I am. Guys, listen, I'm sorry to have to admit this, but I am a little stoned.
Yeah, this is a wild ride for him.
It's fine. Now, let us change gears and travel back in time. Today, we're going to visit the year 1988. AD. Right? Are we in AD?
It's after death.
Right. After. Is that really? I don't know what that means. But, or wait, actually, did they change this now? Is this? No. BC.
Before Christ.
So, no, that was BC. They've changed it. You know, this is all different now.
But they made Pluto's not a planet, and now AD and BC don't work.
Yeah. BC is now BCE, and it means before Common Era. And this is now CE, Common Era.
Fucking millennials.
I want to suspect it was an older person that changed that, but I'm making that up. I literally have no
somebody
facts.
got up in there and said there's no gender.
What?
and said, I want to change before Christ.
Hey,
our Lord.
First of all, any weird or offensive thing that gets said, it is not me. I want everyone to know that is Jeremy Wood.
Yes. Jerry. Jerry
responsible
Wood. Jerry Wood.
for any offensive sort of
I shouldn't have given my real name.
type of shit.
Nothing offensive about that. I'm happy that it's a BCE. They threw another letter in there.
Right.
It just makes
So
it
now
harder to
we're
say.
in the common era. Anyway, guys, what I was trying to say, let's try that over again. Back in time to the year 1988. That's what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things happened in that year. We're going to talk about some of them. Oh, and in case you're not aware yet, the album we're going to be discussing and listening to today is Soundgarden's Ultramega OK. It is their first full-length record, their official debut LP.
This took them out of Seattle for the first time, from what I understand.
Maybe so, yeah. But first, other things were going on in 1988. I guess we're going to talk about some of them. I had a landmark in my life happen in 1988. I went to, it was not my first concert, despite my young age. It was my second concert, but it was my first, like, heavy metal, rock and roll type of shit. I was an inappropriately aged 10 years old, and I went to see Iron Maiden at the Philadelphia Spectrum with my mother. The opening act was Frehley's Comet, Ace Frehley from Kiss. We did not see Ace Frehley. We were in the parking lot tailgating through that. And what that meant for me was, I don't know, eating a piece of candy and drinking a juice while everyone probably got drunk and did drugs. That was my role as a 10-year-old.
Drug culture is big in this Iron Maiden. I don't know. I don't know much about that. I mean, I know that.
Did you just say, was the drug culture big
In
in a 1980s heavy metal parking lot?
All right. No, yeah.
There's literally a movie, Jerry,
I know.
called Heavy Metal Parking Lot. And if you want to know pretty much exactly what that parking lot was like, watch that movie.
Okay. Well, there we
Don't
go.
forget, kids, look up Heavy Metal Parking Lot, and you will see exactly what was happening.
I know I will.
Fantastic. But yeah, that was my first, like I can't really remember my first concert, which was Michael Jackson, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Not ashamed to say.
Mine was the Guess Who.
Really? Mm-hmm. What year was that?
It had to be 1980. Geez, we were in 1986, 1984, 85.
So yeah, earlier, maybe it was 86, I think maybe I saw Michael Jackson. Something like that. I was quite small. Anyway, 1988, saw Maiden. It was great. I believe I was in 5th grade or going into 5th grade. I don't know. I remember specifically wearing my Iron Maiden concert tee in my 5th grade class, and motherfucking Mr. Fontana, this son of a bitch, would ride me all the time about all it. I had my fucking little long hair, and I had like a denim jacket with a back patch, and he just couldn't wait to talk shit all the fucking time. And he would always say, he'd say, what are you going to be in a biker gang? And like, he would say all this like,
to a 5th grader?
yeah, it was, dude, he was so fucked up. One day he literally flipped my desk while I was in it. Like, he was angry as fuck.
This was a different time, though.
Like,
80s,
he
you
was
could do
like,
that
he
type of
had
stuff.
he had the around the sides hair and bald on the top.
Oh, so the Guess Who haircut.
And he had a full
That- the Guess Who
beard.
the game.
Yeah, he had a full salt and pepper beard, this angry red head. He would get so pissed at me and literally put his face right next to my face and like yell. And I remember, oh God, I remember it so vividly right now. His fucking like teacher spittle, like hitting me in the face. And I was just like, I wanted to like punch him in the face or curse him out, but of course I couldn't. I was a fucking 5th grader.
Yeah.
I was half terrified and half enraged. And I was like, this sucks. And then he literally got me one day and flipped my desk. I like hit the ground. It was crazy.
Oh, I mean, this is as an educator. You remember
You
him.
know, as I'm telling this story, more and more negative, fucked up memories about Mr. Fontana are flooding back. I'll save them for
I
everybody.
do not remember any of my teachers.
Oh, really? No.
I remember the one that kept hitting me because I was left-handed.
Well, that.
Well, she was Chinese. She was Chinese. It was when we were in Europe, and she. Oh no, I can't say that.
No. I just, maybe she was Chinese,
Well,
Jerry.
I
I
was
just
told
don't
that
know the woman.
She told me, Miss Wilhelmi, and she had told me that the left hand or something off with the left hand or something like that. So I kept on getting every time I'd use my left hand, she hit me with a ruler. And it wasn't like hard, but I had to change over to the right hand every time. My handwriting is god awful to this day because of it. Let me just make sure that doesn't
Jerry,
go off.
the phone. Jerry is literally on his phone.
I just turned it off. I just muted it. But she kept on she kept on hitting me until it was a right-hander. And so, but now I'm right-handed. I write like a left-hander. You can see that the slant's all wrong.
That's traumatic.
But that's about it. Everyone else was pretty chill, man. I never really had an issue.
I never.
I was small. Even with teachers, like I think that picking on the smallest kid.
My fucking attitude or whatever it is,
Yeah.
was already baked in at that age. It was clear that I was going to be a pain in some people's asses.
Well, you're going to be in a biker gang.
No, and clearly that's where I've ended up. In a fucking biker gang.
That's what
I did
happened.
have a scooter for a while. That's as close as I've gotten to a motorcycle. I had a Vespa.
Oh, no, that's not going to work, man.
It doesn't. There are, scooter clubs.
Oh yeah, so I'm in Florida. They are the height of masculinity. not a bad way, Mister.
Anyway, fuck you, Mr. Fontana, if you're listening.
Funny, 1988 though. I had just came back from Europe though, so this was my first.
You started your life in Europe?
No, my dad was in the military, so we started off in Chester, Ridley, then left, and came back. And we went to Georgia, all these other places, and then we ended up in Europe, and that's 1985 to 1988. And in 1988, we got back, and I think the first we knew MTV, and we had all that other stuff, but the first thing I caught on was MTV Raps, and I think, and I don't remember
Fab Five Freddy,
Fab Five Freddy, MTV Rap, right before Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. But then there was I think the first video I saw when I got back, and it might have been already on, was Faith No More's Epic.
Okay,
that was our first video we saw on cable.
Huge one.
Yeah, so we were in Glen Olden at the time, which is a suburb of Delaware County near Philadelphia.
Now, wait a minute. I could be mistaken. I'm about to maybe. This could be wrong, but Faith No More, The Real Thing, came out in 1989, right?
I just remember that fish, man.
Yeah, that was a wild fish.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I came home at the.
It was clearly somewhere leading into that time, sure.
Yeah, so in maybe the end of 1988, but that's 1988 is the first time coming back and not being able to, not seeing cars, not seeing taxis being Mercedes. We were in Germany, so it was like it was just one of those things, and it was and I think it was very exotic. Even at that age, young people were very attracted to the kid from another land.
Yeah. You were the, interesting guy.
Right. My corduroy pants were too tight.
Amongst
I
10-year-olds.
remember getting made fun of that. Yeah, 10-year-olds. 10-year-olds really didn't like corduroy.
Yeah?
No.
Shit.
No. Hurt.
Well, later in our journey, we'll get to a time when corduroy was all the rage.
All the rage.
Thanks to one handsome young front man that we'll meet along our journey. Okay, so I have a little list here of some notable albums that were released in 1988. And by notable, I mean notable to me personally, not, commercial success or anything, although we certainly have some of those. We have Living Colour's debut album, Vivid. Did you catch wind of that one?
Oh, yeah,
Surely
that was
you did.
very much on that one, yeah.
I fucking love that album and that band.
I only had the videos. Cult of Personality, and then Mr. What was the Fashion Boys or something like that?
Glamour Boys.
Glamour Boys. I remember that. That video
Yep.
scared me. Like
it's so
Energizer guys
easy
did.
to get off on tangents. Like, my intention here is to read these list of a couple albums, and then we're going to talk about Soundgarden.
Mm-hmm.
But every goddamn time I think of 10 More Things, this Living Colour, this debut album, we all got introduced to them with the Cult of Personality video. Mm-hmm. Came on, you never saw anything like it. You never saw these fucking wild young black men playing in a genre of music that we had never seen. They were playing,
Metal.
they were, it almost, you could call it metal maybe, this heavy rockin' song, whiling out, long hair, ripping guitar solos. We didn't see.
Well, there was a punk band, but nothing like this.
Yeah, we didn't see black artists at that time playing that kind of music, and plus they were just wild looking. They were wearing fucking
Body glove.
day glow, body
The
glove,
body
and crazy neon dreadlocks and shit. It was wild. But I have an opinion about this song, Cult of Personality, and I'm going to be honest. It's a bold statement. This is bold.
Tell me.
I think it's maybe not 100%, but really close, that Cult of Personality could be the best song ever.
You're high.
Listen, I am high. I am high. Even all right. That's
don't know
so
about that.
general.
That
That's
is
so
the best
general.
song
Let's
ever?
say the best like hard rock song.
The best.
I'm gonna call it the best hard rock song ever. First of all, I mean, whatever. Some things are subjective. It's a great fucking song. The production is great. The mix sounds good. They're all skillful players. Corey's a great singer.
Great use of samples as well.
All of that. And then a little more specifically to that song is, like I said, it's a hard rock song for sure. It's hard rocking. It's got a ripping guitar solo, all of this. So it's heavy enough to have that weight to it, but it's not so heavy that its heaviness is offensive to pretty much anyone. It's not so heavy. People wouldn't be turned off like, oh, that crazy loud music.
It's still a rock song. There's no devil lyric. I mean,
It's not super aggressive, I guess, but it's just a firm fucking rockin' song. And we're gonna have to listen to Cult of Personality at some point. And man, it starts, it's a shame I don't have the song ready to play right now, but it starts with those kick drums. They go into the riff and you hear that stuttering kick drum. Whatever, we're way off track.
No,
it might be, I want everybody to show me a song, especially, a hard rock song that is clearly, you can say without a doubt, clearly better than that fucking song. Name a fucking song that is clearly better than that.
Well, I will. Allow me to volunteer that during this era, Bobby Brown's "Don't Be Cruel" was an extremely it was a great album. Full of my prerogative.
Sorry, wrong sound effect.
I love. We are turning into the morning fucking zoo. I cannot possibly stand behind that. I mean, albeit CM Punk, at one point an MMA fighter and a pro wrestler, use that as his entry theme.
That's right.
So
yes.
you do mathematically the song works. It works on a lot of levels. But can we call it the greatest rock song ever?
I can't imagine that song coming on and turning it off for any fucking reason.
No, it stays there.
Like, I'll stop any fucking thing that I'm doing at that moment. Be like, shh. Fucking badass song coming on right now.
We are on a podcast that talks about what we're doing one that has Alice in Chains in it, Pearl Jam.
I
Black.
love it.
I mean, all of these great songs, and then we have to do a pivot. We have to pivot.
All right,
the Corey Glover podcast.
Fine, listen. All right, a couple other notable albums from 1988. Metallica released "And Justice for All." Thoughts?
Yeah. Great album.
You're not into it? You don't care about it?
I wasn't. I really didn't get into them too much later.
All right.
I know that's it's heresy.
Hey,
it just wasn't. I can't. I'm not educated enough.
This
about
album
that
is when a lot of people got on board with Metallica because it was when they released their
Green
first
Hell on
music
that?
video. No, it is not. And there are good songs on the album for sure. I can't listen to that fucking album. It sounds terrible. Anybody that defends the sound of that album, you're just wrong. That's ridiculous. There's no fucking bass. It sounds terrible. We're not gonna debate it.
No.
Because I'm right. It sounds like shit. Anyway, Ozzy Osbourne released No Rest for the Wicked. I love that album. You do not.
No, not a fan.
All right. Tracy Chapman released her debut self-titled album.
Yes.
I'm going to make another bold statement. That album, it's definitely in the top 10 greatest albums in the world ever, all time.
It's a hot take right there.
Top 10.
Oh, well.
There was at one point the Big Bang, and then a lot of time passed, and then there's Today. Within that span, that's one of the top 10 albums.
We're talking about the molten core of the earth forming.
Yep.
And Tracy Chapman.
Ever since then, Tracy Chapman debut, self-titled album, top 10, one of the best albums ever.
I'm not gonna say it's the best album, one of the best top 10 albums. I will say it is probably contains the song Fast Car. No, it does.
Does.
The number one song people have hung themselves to.
Listen.
That song is probably like, all right, that's it, I'm done. And then they kick the stool out, and Fast Car is played on repeat when the family finds them.
It is oftentimes a somber sort of album. It's not exactly uplifting most of the time. Although there is some empowering shit on that album, for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's the one we remember, though. And
I love
the
it.
one mostly hung to.
All right. Well, Great album. We're going to talk about Soundgarden. Yes. Ultramega OK. You had no prior knowledge of this album.
I remember the 6 series.
Okay.
And I remember that because it was used in an art film.
Oh.
That one of my friends made. And this whole album feels like amateur film.
Oh, okay.
That's not a bad thing.
Look, we
That's not a
know,
bad thing.
I guess, I don't know if it's much of a spoiler to say at this point, you're not at all fond of this album, really.
I wasn't, I mean, in the spectrum of things, you could see that there was experimentation in this. There was a lot of experimentation in this.
Yeah.
And I can't fault them for that. Yeah. You know, I just think the name of the album says the excitement of getting an album recorded.
It's funny you mention it. In our notes, I don't know if you have the same notes I do. I have all right, well, let me give you God damn it, I get myself off track. This damn weed. Okay. You mentioned the album title. According to Chris Cornell, the album's title was a joke conceived by guitarist Kim Thayil. Cornell explained that the title Ultramega OK means absolutely, unbelievably not bad, and suggested that the British version was going to be called Ultramega UK. With Ultramega OK, we really liked the songs on that record, but we were disappointed in the production. We were sort of making fun of the finished product. It was Ultramega all right. Ultramega could have been better, but not bad.
That is perfect.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to get into it. It is the debut full-length album from Soundgarden, released on Halloween of 1988 by SST Records. They supported the album with a tour of the States and their first overseas tour. In 1990, for some reason, the album earned a Grammy nomination for Best Metal Performance. Nomination. I don't believe they won that Grammy, but they got the nomination.
And you got to think this was before the term. I mean, they would later be put into rock. So they were put into the metal thing.
The albums that they put into different categories are always ridiculous.
The
Grammys. I mean, let's not forget Metallica famously lost to Jethro Tull. So, all right, guys, Ultramega OK. Let's get into it a little bit. The first track is called Flower.
And there's a psychedelic experimentation here. Like where the sitar gets
there's some
thrown
weird
in here.
There's some weird shit going on this record, not gonna lie.
I do love the sitar though. There's not a song that this does. Like the saxophone and the sitar, you can't really lose. The Beatles made it.
I do love some saxophone, no doubt.
Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street. I will say that's the best use of saxophone in any rock song.
You're making bold statements today as well.
Yes, we're all hot takes. You got to start off with a bang, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, that goes right into it. And again, I mean, I can't say it's like we're not thinking the album's like super great, you know, but not every song's going to be a banger, you know.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to find it. This has less than what we usually are, but it's still an okay album, you know. It's Ultramega OK.
And it's still real early days.
Exactly. I mean,
Soundgarden are finding their voice, and they had this whole snafu with this asshole producer.
And you got to think.
He fucked it up.
Did he? I mean,
according to them, and that's really the opinion that matters. They weren't happy with it. Oh, sorry, guys. This episode is sponsored by Capri Sun.
Roaring Waters. Almost said Wooders. I'm trying to fix that. Capri Sun. I think we said it when I walked in, I immediately thought of youth. Capri Sun, and I could never actually poke the bag without it shooting, without the Capri Sun juice.
That's what she said.
I never poked the bag right, and then have Capri Sun juice fly all over the place. You're just hoping to minimize collateral damage at that point when you poke a Capri Sun. I'm gonna say already, about 34 minutes into this one, our best episode ever. Hot takes.
Greatest podcast episode of all time, bitches.
It's motherfucking Living Color and the Grunge podcast. And you know, I should work a 10-hour day every time and come over here filled with filth and fury.
Here you go.
I must have said 1 million words today.
You should count.
It should count.
No, you should count them.
Oh no, that would be terrible. I tried to record it one time. But apparently you need people's permission to record them. But I tried to make some sort of clandestine opera.
Yeah.
Like of just people. The song's great,
You
by the
only
way.
need permission if they know about it.
That's not how it works.
This is rocking.
Yeah, this goes. It really
Flower.
comes out hard, and I
They
think
released this jam as a single, I believe. This was like the first one.
I think it's funny. I got these.
What?
I got this Wikipedia, and one of the things they said about the packaging, they give you everything. Lance Mercer photographed it. It's a black and white picture of the band, according to Cornell. The album title was a joke. We don't know that. Again, they say that guy's name, Kim Thayil.
I think it's Thyle.
Thayil.
File. I think. But who the fuck knows?
I just like that I didn't read this before.
Oh, this is a rocker. All Your Lies.
This is
Good jam.
Again, not bad. Into it. I just like that they, even before I read it, naming it Ultramega OK, Ultramega OK. Like,
Yeah.
I would have said that,
They weren't having a good time with it.
but again, these dudes were around. We're doing a lot of Soundgarden right off the bat. Like, if you look at our set list,
Yeah.
it's 4 Soundgarden.
Yeah, we
albums.
start Soundgarden heavy. We're going chronologically. It's not, we're just, time did it. We didn't do it.
Yeah, it's just a part of it. They were more productive than anybody else at this time. And people saw it in them. I mean, I was talking to a couple friends. I mean, a lot of my friends who were into like the goth phase, or they were listening to Skinny Puppy, Bauhaus, things of that nature. These guys were on that radar.
Ooh. Love this. Yeah, bitch.
I love that spike.
That voice of his, god damn it. Even from the beginning, he had that crazy fucking voice.
No one trained him. I mean,
It's-
maybe they
it's
did.
so
Who knows?
wild.
I mean,
it's so wild.
you think that like after this, he probably got a ton of like different vocal exercises, but like
I doubt it. Who knows?
somebody had to have helped because he went ballistic near the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's intense.
And who did they have to draw from? They had their inspirations, rock bands, but I think these guys spawned 8,000 different copycat bands. So they waited 2 years after the release of this album to go on tour, or did they have the opportunity? You know?
No, I don't think so. They toured.
They toured. It just,
Yeah.
The British tour was 1990.
No.
Let me
It
consult
was
my
probably 88 or 89.
tour.
I believe so.
For the
You
album.
know, after
1989. Spring
Yeah.
of 1989. Tour of Europe. First overseas tour.
listen to this little fucking riff.
Metal. Maybe this is what got them nominated.
I hope so. This kicks ass to me. If I was at a Soundgarden show and they fucking played this song, I would lose my mind. I would love it. Oh, I'm gonna fucking talk over this right now and tell you a little story. We're gonna soon, not just yet, after this coming up on a track called Beyond the Wheel.
Yes, after 665.
Now, we know, okay, moving into the future, one day Soundgarden break up. They break up. They are gone for a long time, and then they reunite whenever that was, 2012 or so, I don't remember. They announced a little tour. I jumped on that shit, got a ticket to see them at the pier, the Festival Pier in Philadelphia, over on Penn's Landing. And I believe it was the Mars Volta opening. I don't give much of a fuck about them. But okay, I was pumped. It's Soundgarden. I hadn't seen them since 94 or 6. It had been a long time. So they're playing, and I just had it in my mind. Like, I didn't ever assume they would play Beyond the Wheel. But I'd always thought, man, what a wild track that is. I'd love to hear them play that. And when they fucking started playing Beyond the Wheel at this show, I lost my goddamn mind. I was just crushed by the awesomeness of what was happening. Really.
Oh, yes.
Right now we're listening to 665, a weird
This
experimental
was the song used
thing.
on a very, very bad amateur film.
But I was so happy and excited when I heard them start playing Beyond the Wheel. I was like, no, is that? And then when it became clear that it was Beyond the Wheel, oh my God, I was so overjoyed. Really,
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
No, it's
They
valuable.
crushed the song. It sounded awesome, and just the fact that they were doing it was awesome. I looked up at Ben Shepherd, who I fucking love, the bass player of Soundgarden. And I was so thrilled to just be looking at Ben Shepherd while hearing this crushing fucking song. So happy. One of my favorite concert memories, perhaps my favorite Soundgarden concert memory of all time. A lot of all times going on today.
Yeah, we are absolutely not under the influence of anything.
Okay, sorry, I like cannabis.
That will fade. That will fade, and I'm sure the next one we listen to will be the best for me. What is the next one we'll listen to?
Don't tell. Shh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How fucking dare you?
On part 2
Jerry?
of the Grunge podcast.
Guys, listen, there's no part 2.
The sequel, The Becoming. Yes, 665. And I
Soundgarden are up to some weird experimental shit right
You
here.
guys like, just do what you want, man. Just do it. Go ahead, make a bunch of noise. Yeah, yo. And they do it.
All
Do
right,
it 4 more
this
times.
is fucking Beyond the Wheel. It's an odd one. It's an odd song.
Don't hate it.
But tell me at the end of this song if Chris Cornell don't have some motherfucking range.
Yeah, he goes full hair, full on. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't
What
want to
Jerry
spoil
said.
it. I don't want to spoil it, but there is some range here. Some runaway type range. You know, Bon Jovi's Runaway.
Listen to this shit. God damn.
It's moody. A sign of things to come.
Soundgarden really could have been the greatest stoner rock band ever. If they wanted to just do that thing, they could. They do it when they want it.
Versatile.
Yeah. This is their Sabbath influence. That sludgy vibe.
And maybe I shouldn't have been listening to this while doing aerobics. Yes. I mean, they played this. I would not have seen this as one out of all the hits, and you saw the last tour. They throw this in there.
Oh yeah. I saw them. So I saw this one when they first reunited, and then I saw them again after they had put out a new record and everything. That's wild.
Bad intentions. is what
That's
it says.
fucking wild sounding.
I'm gonna go fuck somebody up. That's what it says. I'm driving to this person's house.
I think that's your interpretation.
That's how I
of
feel
it.
about it. I mean, you write something like this, someone's at one point been hit with a pipe wrench to this song.
Possibly,
Tracy
but
Chapman
that's
is-
not to say that that was Chris Cornell's intention.
I don't know. Tracy Chapman, Murder to Kill Yourself by Soundgarden,
What?
Murder to Kill too.
What?
I mean, that's what this is. The preeminent.
Words
murder
don't
band.
have to necessarily be in any order.
No.
You know, it's
Did,
not.
did I do that wrong?
I don't know. You like this, Jerry? What are you looking at?
I like.
You seem distracted.
Oh, I like the ambiance. And believe me, I am.
It's cool, right?
I dig I dig it.
We're in my garage, guys. This is my
Candle
garage.
Stuff. Yeah, this is somebody's garage. And it's carpeted.
Yeah.
It's great. Shag. and deservedly so. One of the longer songs on this too. Fantastic.
Might be, yeah.
There's only one other. 5 minutes and 7 seconds. The Howlin' Wolf cover. Smokestack. Lightning.
Yeah, dude, this is. I mean, I guess this is my favorite song on the album. I guess.
Coming up to my favorite would be Head Injury. That was written by Chris Cornell. I like that they actually credit these things too. I like that.
There is a track on this album. I forget which one it is.
And now John Lennon.
Nazi
again.
Driver, Head Injury. I forget. One of them had no input from Chris Cornell, which is a rarity in the Soundgarden catalog.
This says none of them. Oh wait. As far as what, anything?
He had no writing credit on it.
Oh. These guys just have one. So like this particular one's Beyond the Wheels, written by Chris Cornell.
Yeah.
Again, we're going off Wikipedia. I mean, not the preeminence.
It should be.
It just says Cornell, and then for All Your Lies, Thail,
Let me see that.
Hiro Yamamoto.
The music or the lyrics?
Maybe lyrics. I cut off the top.
Oh.
Music. It just says lyrics. Yeah, lyrics. Yeah, lyrics is the first one. Music is the second one. So
Well, who the fuck knows?
yeah, Yamamoto only gets credit for Circle of Power.
Yeah. That one. It's all him.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, I don't think Chris had a writing credit on it,
Oh, interesting.
which that's not a thing that happens often in the Soundgarden catalog.
Is it like a Van? No, is it who does that? Who gets credits for everything? I think Aerosmith gives credit to everybody. Aerosmith or
A lot of
or
bands
Van
do.
Halen.
A lot of bands do.
There we go. 667. Just do what you want.
We're back to 667 here.
Hey guys, what do you?
So
what do you-
does that mean that Beyond the Wheel is 666?
The Devil Song?
That's the one.
Well, then you'd have to. Then if we go 668, 669, 67, this would end at 673,
There
which
are
makes
no
no
more.
sense. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if we were to do it that way, Beyond the Wheel and that, and then the rest of the songs would be in the
Well,
600s.
yeah, they're just whatever. It's all about Beyond the Wheel.
fucking house numbers. You know, make a left that he didn't. Knock on the front door. Knock light. The kids asleep.
Soundgarden are back to their shenanigans here on 667.
That's what I'm saying. This was just like, yo, we need a minute. We need another minute. Shitty bands don't go 39 minutes. They go 42.
All right, we're getting into Mood for Trouble.
Yeah.
This is a wild
A little acoustic,
This is a wild one here.
which shocked me a little bit. I like that. Like, okay, this got Melissa Etheridge type feel. I was on board.
one. Yo, I gotta be honest. I don't feel bad about this record.
I can't say I hated it. I wasn't like, would I listen to it all the way through? But there are very few albums you can listen to all the way through.
Well, no, Jerry. I disagree with that.
I would.
I think there's a shitload of fantastic albums
There's
in the
only
world
two.
that I have to listen to all the way through.
Mr. Bungle's Mr. Bungle.
Oh, come on.
And Dr. Dre's The Chronic.
This fucking guy.
Listen to that shit all the way through every time, all the time. Oh, and Raekwon's Only Built for Cuban Links. Shout out to the Woo and Ghostface.
We're gonna listen to quite a few perfect fucking albums on this podcast.
Right.
We're gonna listen to several.
You know, I would like to probably why I didn't listen to albums all the way through is I was a late bloomer driving. I didn't drive until I was 26. So like,
Oh, really?
where you would actually like.
I thought
listen to
I was a
albums.
late bloomer. I was 19.
Yeah, yeah. I took that public trans. I was a pain in the ass to everybody. Oh, I can't make it. Can you pick me up? That was me all the time. So when I got to driving, I could listen to whole albums. That's where I got into Curtis Mayfield. I could listen to every Curtis Mayfield album all the way through. So yeah, there's more than 2 albums.
Yeah, there's a shitload of great albums. There's no shortage.
And one day we should talk over a Curtis Mayfield album.
Let's hope we get that chance.
You know what though? I find R&B to be a lot more strict as far as talking and like using their, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
You
they
think?
would. Yeah, I think if we talked over Bobby Brown's "Don't Be Cruel," #1 selling album, 1988, we would get a lot of shit because My Prerogative's on there.
Yeah.
These are not songs you can do that to.
Now wait, is Bobby Brown dead? Is he alive?
I
Did
think
he
he's
die?
still alive. Whitney and
No,
unfortunately,
wait. Oh yeah, Bobby's alive.
Yeah.
The kid died.
the poor girl died.
Yes, her name was Bobby.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah. Okay. Good on you, Bobby Brown. Keep it going. I'm sorry for your losses.
You know, I had a bunch of notes, and I had a bunch of notes, and I wanted to say one
For
thing.
this?
Not this. Unfortunately, I was trying to do the same thing he did with what was big in 1988.
Oh.
And I apologize for talking over this about something that's not this. But
That's okay.
I'll tell you what was big. The #1 movie of October was The Accused,
Oh,
which was a terribly depressing
I don't
movie.
even remember that movie. I remember
if I were
that
to
it's a movie.
If I were to explain it,
Don't.
don't.
We don't need that.
No. That and the #1 show on TV was The Cosby Show. And Roseanne quickly followed it. But she also
I'm not gonna lie. When I was a little kid, Cosby Show was great.
You know, it
was
was
great.
awesome.
I mean, it's unfortunate, obviously, the way things turned out for everybody.
No, I mean,
But it was a great show.
Malcolm Jamal Warner's fine. Lisa Bonet turned out okay.
I think she had some turbulent times, but I think in the end she's okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she was Drew Barrymoreing it for a bit, but then, you know, and they
How
all righted the
dare
ship.
you.
She had a rough go, too. And in that rough go, she made one of the finest movies I've ever seen in Poison Ivy. Great movie.
I'm loving this song, Mood for Trouble.
Yeah.
You're not into it?
I'm talking.
No, I mean, do you like it? This song.
This has a good road vibe to it.
Yeah, I'm into it.
I can see myself riding in a car, not going to someone else's house to beat the ass, but just,
Yeah.
it
It has a more of a feel-good vibe,
yeah, I'm into it.
maybe. Although it's literally called In Mood for Trouble.
Oh yeah, all Mood for Trouble. I mean, Dirty Deeds was a upbeat song. I mean, anything
It's clear what that song is about.
done dirt cheap.
Yeah, man, I haven't listened to these early Soundgarden albums enough. Like, I've heard them however many times here and there over the years. I'll go back, but I should focus on them a little more. Like, I'm into this. This sounds good as fuck to me right now.
It beats the shit out of whatever's happening now. And
Dude. Like, that's some nice shit right there.
I think to me it sounded like the beginning.
That was
of
a
Jeremy.
highly technical statement I just
There's
made about
some
music.
really nice shit, dude. That's what they fucking.
I should never even be allowed to be called a musician.
Oh, no, you are. I'm not. I didn't even say that. The new name of turn off the Grunge podcast. Turn on this really good shit.
All right, we're on
podcast.
Circle of Power now.
Circle of Power.
Circle
where
of
Chris
Power.
Cornell had nothing to do with it.
This is the one?
Yamamoto and Thail. There's the punk vibe.
There's some wacky shit going on here.
This might be where it lost me, though. But again, I was doing something terribly unpleasant when I was listening to this, so it's like, that could have been what it was, I was doing where I was working out, and I hate doing that.
Oh, that's what you put it on while you were working it?
Yeah, I thought that would help.
You thought it would help?
I thought it would be like I thought it would motivate me.
Oh, big badass circle of power, it's coming to get ya!
Fuck yeah. It should always be necessary to come out with a high-pitched squeal when the music comes out and when you stop and you come into that, Now that I'm listening to it with somebody else, though, and when I came into before we were recording, and we also didn't discuss anything we were going to talk about in the first 10 minutes of this thing. But right when
Maybe more.
before I came in here, I said I don't like this fucking album. I don't like that. I'm cursing a lot more. I'm sorry, Mom. I don't like this album. I don't like this album. And
Do you think your mom
no, she don't give a shit.
will listen to this?
She listens. Yeah, she's very supportive of everything that her kids do. Everyone, everything. Got a bunch of them.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Jerry,
What?
I forgot to talk about the patrons. I have to talk about our patrons. Don't let me forget.
And we won't.
God
I don't.
damn it, I should have done all that stuff
I didn't.
before we started the album. That's like the middle, right? Before we start the album, it's like the middle.
A shitty song in here that we can talk through.
Hey, I'm just gonna say before I forget, we got. Damn it, this is awkward. All right, I'm gonna
Can
wait.
can we actually edit?
I'm not gonna edit shit. We don't edit.
We'll put it in description. We thank
This
them
is called
at
He
the
Did. No, I'm gonna do it,
52-minute
but
mark.
I'm gonna not do it right now. He Didn't is this track.
Maybe there's not a shitty song. Maybe I judged it wrong.
It's not. Look, I'm not gonna call this one of their best albums, but a less great Soundgarden album is still pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, it's got.
It's weird. It's not the easiest listen. I mean, this is weird. But I don't hate it.
No. And that's to say that all the albums we're going to listen to, there's not a lot you can hate.
Yeah, and look, give this one 10 listens. Take 3 days and listen to it a bunch. I bet you'll like it a lot more.
I bet you the only time I listen to this album again is when I'm re-listening to this podcast, and that'll do it. That'll close the book on that one.
Do you listen? Do you listen to our own podcast?
I fly through it. I get right to the awkward parts, like where I think I said something
You
terrible.
skip through.
I mean, I don't have. Who has time?
That's what I did.
I'm doing dishes.
I wanted to hear it, like, what does it sound like when, like, at the end, like, when people listen to it?
Yeah.
And so I just opened it up in my podcast app and put it on, but I just scrubbed through it. You know,
Yeah,
I was like, listen to 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there.
Anything
it sounded,
I do.
It sounded good.
I'm doing chores.
Yeah.
I'm not used to the sound of my own voice. I can do it for 30 seconds at a clip. So for like an hour and a half, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is some weird janky type of shit they're into right here.
But why not? Again,
It's still cool.
if you can, then do. Like we listened to one of our Patreon albums,
Like
was-
that. Yeah, dude.
One of our Patreon albums was Mother Love Bone. And what was nice about that is there was like people at the end of the album. He says where you're spending all of this big label's money.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And that's what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Like I'm having a great time. I'm gonna spend this money now.
I mean, these guys were spending SST money. Was still not the biggest label.
And for you pro wrestling fans, SST also means Samoan SWAT team.
I am not one of those.
Well, you're gonna get one in there, and I appeal to that one guy.
Liked wrestling when I was a little kid, into Hulk Hogan and shit.
When I lived in Pottstown, there wasn't a lot to do, and it was during the Attitude Era, so it was okay at the time.
Going into a cover of Smokestack Lightning right here. Little Matt Cameron on the drums.
See, I like this. We've talked about walking into a room with dry ice and a light behind you.
Yeah.
This is the one. This is the one
is
on
the
that
jam.
album. And if that, yeah, this is the one you would do that to. You walk in like, yeah. Who am I gonna get with tonight?
Might have had this shit playing in Bobby.
Ah.
In that.
Well, I think we already. Yeah, that person's been talking, but yeah. Oh, no. He's not wearing, again, Chris Cornell on the album cover, not wearing a shirt.
Rarely
I
was he
don't
wearing a
think
shirt
he
back
is.
then.
Oh, no, wait. This one you don't see anybody on there.
Rarely was he wearing a shirt.
And would you?
Why
would you
would
if
he?
you were
Why
him?
would he?
No,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
And like he had no dad. There was no dad bod in Chris Cornell. The whole.
No, I mean
run.
these dudes were young at this point.
Yeah,
you
but
know.
even in his older age, he didn't have that issue.
Yeah, I don't. There was no shirtless Chris Cornell in the later years.
Nah, it was mostly a green shirt.
I think there might have been. This is important stuff here. There might have been some shirtless moments while he was in Audio Slave, but I don't think anything past that.
It's a
I
phase.
think.
It's a phase.
It's important, know when Chris was shirtless.
Sorry, and it's only because of my ignorance, my lack of knowledge in this that have to bring
it's
it up.
important to know.
It's
For
extremely
some
important.
reason, I know that. I feel like I have an idea in my mind that Chris didn't go shirtless after
Right.
Audio Slave.
I mean, think about it, of the four bands that were Audio Slave.
I don't know. He may have. I didn't
Before
see.
Audio Slave, after Audio Slave.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a good
Out
marker.
of the bands we're really covering, I think the most covered would have been Kurt Cobain. He would basically he's the most he wore a lot of clothes.
Wait, what?
Kurt Cobain, we're talking about who wouldn't be shirtless all the time. Out of the four bands we're covering, Kurt Cobain
yeah.
basically he stayed clothed the whole time, most of the time at least.
Yeah.
I mean, he was wearing dresses too. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah,
Like,
he
did
would
a lot
even
of
wear
things.
extra layers. He'd
Yeah.
throw a wig on and a weird jacket.
Yeah, I like
you know.
that.
Yeah,
yeah, Warhol vibe. to
Yeah, I
it,
don't
you know?
remember Kurt being shirtless, right?
Didn't have to be.
No.
No. Novoselic didn't care,
Yeah.
and neither did Grohl.
He'd be shirtless. Dave Grohl would be shirtless all the time.
Pat Smear?
No, I don't believe Pat was shirtless, was he?
No, he stayed dressed. Unsung hero, that guy. But we'll call him later. We'll talk about
We'll
him
get
later.
there.
We'll get there. I like that. Wow. I like that. Wow.
Smooth motherfuckers when they want to be.
Yeah. Listen to that. If I could, I would walk into a room every time with that. Hey, everybody, it's Jerry! And just let people know I'm here.
That's pretty fucking great.
When these guys did blues bands, it worked in a ton of ways. I mean, these are accomplished musicians.
I don't know, man. It's hard to go wrong when you can just wail like Chris Cornell. Although, he did go wrong once in his career, at least. He made this one album, made an album called Scream. We're going to get to it. We'll get to it. We'll talk all about it. I'm going to have a couple things to say.
I can't wait. Because we've been...
Wow, listen to this motherfucker.
This was the one where he went hair metal on it. I thought it was another one. This one is... They're doing everything. Plus, in your face.
Just wailing. Love it. What's not to love?
That was the Howlin' Wolf cover.
Going into
Stack
Nazi Driver.
Right on. A total 180.
This is.
I've always wanted to do my Star's End verse. Nazi Driver. Soundgarden. This is Star's End.
I'm not used to having so much weird, like, fuzz on my face. I can't stop touching.
Now that you wear a mask everywhere, really, no one sees it. I'm just letting it.
Yeah.
I'm letting it fly because I don't have to shave anymore. I'm wearing.
You wear a mask all day at work?
Yeah.
You do?
I do. I have to.
Oh, shit.
I look like an automotive ninja.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's insane. How do you trust a person wearing a mask in front of them all day?
I mean, who trusts a car salesman anyway?
Not,
You know?
yeah, it's
Like they
it's
go
hard.
in there thinking, all right, what are we in for?
It's not trust, it's rapport.
Right.
Yeah. That was going to come up eventually.
Well, I mean, you talked about work.
I'm a nice guy. Wish I knew the lyrics to this song.
Should have got him, Jerry.
I should have written them down. Or printed them, because we are in the 20th century. 21st.
I mean, is that more or less reason to print them? In the last century, they could print them.
No, well, you know what? We're in the
this
room with the
century, we
printing
don't
press.
have
Now this is fun. What a fun little breakdown.
That's a wild riff right there. Yeah. I would never turn down a riff like that in a song.
No matter what. I will say this is one of the more creative the names for these songs are wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, Head Injury, Mood for Trouble, Circle of Power. I mean, all of these are scintillating in what you think you're going to walk
Mace.
into. Incessant Mace. Oh, that's a Mace.
Oh,
That's one of my favorite things.
We'll save it.
Oh, wait. That one was wonderful. What a great story that was.
Eventually, we can tell a story. Oh my
Jesus
Lord, Jerry's
Christ.
busting up the fucking garage
I
here.
almost lost it there. What's up?
Eventually, we'll be able to tell nonsense stories in line with like the timeline where we're at with the albums.
That's gonna be wild.
You know, we'll creep into the 90s, and then shit'll be time relevant.
Real personal.
you
Yeah, that's
know?
when the Grunge podcast goes to a 3.5 hour jaunt, you know? Like, I listened to it. It was
Nonsense inside baseball.
yeah, all day. You remember that? You remember that? Imagine if we both got high. I think that's the one. When we hit the 90s, everyone's going to be blazed for that.
Yeah, dude, I love that fucking wild riff.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna make it my homework to listen to these early albums way more. I'm gonna do it because there's songs here to fall in love with that I haven't yet. I think there's stuff in here.
Undiscovered love.
Yeah, I think so. I came on board with Soundgarden on Louder Than Love a little later on. So for some reason, sometimes it's hard to go back. You can jump online with a band and enjoy them from that time forward, maybe.
Did you have the
But it's hard to go back.
Did you have the opportunity when these things came out? Like, we were talking about the
I didn't know
internet.
about 'em.
We didn't know about them. We talked
Yeah.
about the internet and all that stuff. Now we can go back to
Yeah.
these catalogs easily.
Yeah, at the
Back
time
then-
I didn't know they existed.
Back then, why? You go to a music store, $20 for the CD. It's the first album. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
There's always $20.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, yeah. it's
I've got
always
$20
sucked.
to spare.
You were burned by Candlebox.
Yeah.
I was burned by Donald Fagen. Going, well, that's a story for later.
Head Injury. That's the song we're on here.
Right on.
I like it.
I like the whisper lyric in the background. I enjoy that. My head on your hand.
Not
Yes. This would be a good live song. Like, while I don't like it, I imagine like live, you'd be like, oh, they stopped and started at the right time, and they're doing it time-wise.
It's got a good rockin' vibe.
It's
to
a punk song, and you have to admire the timing. Well, I like this. Our-way whistles.
Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah, motherfucker. Come on, Chris Cornell. God damn, son. I wish I could do that.
Wait, just sing like this?
Yeah.
No.
Fuck you, man. It's so good.
Only a couple people should be able to do this.
Well, he's gone. I can take it now.
Nah, man. You should have killed him and ate his brain
Damn
when you had
it.
the chance. It seems like when he does this, he's dumbing himself down. Like, he doesn't have to do that. And it's nice. At the moment, it feels right.
It's an artistic choice.
But Barbara Streisand doesn't do that shit.
Well, because she's not fucking cool.
She had 2 movies. No, 3. Got Yentl up in that bitch.
Probably got a shitload of movies.
She has a bunch of them. But who wants
Incessant
to
Mace
watch them?
is this track.
And that's what Barbara Streisand sounds like to me. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't get past Head Injury. I saw these last, well, maybe 1 minute of silence is like minutes. I never did. I didn't
No,
get
1
to,
minute of silence is the end of the album.
Yes, I didn't get to Incessant Mace, which is unfortunate because I like the way this begins.
That's all right.
I enjoy this. It is, however, the opus of this album at 6 minutes and 27 seconds long.
Okay. Yeah, dude, it's kind of cool when they'd go into their, like, sludgy fucking stoner shit.
Yeah.
Like, modern stoner albums sound like this. Like the doomy stoner shit.
See, and I didn't get to the doomy stoner. I think that's, again, as unfamiliar as I am with most genres, stoner music. I mean, the closest thing I got to it was Insane Clown Posse on a
Yo.
lesser level.
Well,
Insane Clown Posse. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
It's like
start a
Cypress
separate.
Hill.
I'm gonna start another podcast for stoner doom shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It had me on that, so I don't know what the hell's going on there either.
But you have to be real stoned the whole time.
I think once we start, we have to send all our patrons a bag of weed.
Hey, we're gonna not put that in. Oh yes, patrons. Gotta remember.
Remember, don't forget the patrons.
Damn it, love them. I love you, patrons.
I totally flattered, but I won't talk about that till we talk about that. This has still got it going on. Cypress Hill, Snoop Dogg, preeminent hip hop stoner.
What?
People.
Oh, okay.
If we're
Yeah.
talking about that.
Sure.
Then everyone else sort of jumped on after that. And then Dr. Dre to a lesser extent. That bass work. Going into jam band territory here.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Soundgarden had more like stoner rock in them than I think people usually think of. Like, they're not really, generally lumped into that, but they've got a lot of that.
Album's versatile. There's a lot going on here in this one album. You got punk, you got blues, you got this, you got sludge, you got metal. I mean, there's a lot going on here. I thought I would hate this a lot more than I do, and I don't hate it.
I feel like maybe I've missed out. Like Soundgarden is a band I love. Like, they're one of my favorite bands in the world. They're like way at the very top. And like, I've listened to these albums. Like I said, I've heard them, many times probably. But I've never spent nearly the same amount of time with them that I have all of the others. I don't know. We're like, all right, they're the weird early records. They're okay.
Might get into it.
But when I'm in the mood for Soundgarden, I reach for those other albums. I don't know. It's just always gone that way. But I'm going to have to refamiliarize myself with these old albums. Because there is some shit to get into here. And Soundgarden never sounded like this ever again. Like a lot of the shit that we've heard on these first two albums, that didn't carry on really. They never made those sounds ever again. Particularly Chris. I don't think he ever did any of that wackier type of weird shit that he did on the first two albums. He never did that again.
Yeah, Rusty Cage, I think, was my first exposure to them, and that had like more of a punk. I mean, it was fast,
Yeah.
the thrashier song, but I don't know if I can hear that in this.
Yeah.
This is blues near the end to me. I mean, you say stoner, but it's a bluesy song.
This is bluesy for sure, yeah. I mean, even the stoner bands, like the stuff that I definitely call stoner rock, is all real blues influenced stuff. It's all related. It's just a number of degrees removed from Black Sabbath. It's all directly related to Black Sabbath, which is a blues band. Like, they literally were a blues band. And that first Sabbath album is basically a blues rock album. That's what that is. And it all comes from there. It all comes from Sabbath.
Like When the Levee Breaks, Led Zeppelin, like rhymes and going there.
Everybody borrows from the blues, Led Zeppelin prime amongst them.
Going. Every song should end with that. And it just everything falls away and they're still going.
Yeah, dude, listen to him wailing back there.
Turn this up as loud as you possibly can. Drown us out. One more time. Oh. Harmonica.
Hell yeah.
There we go. And now...
The album ends with 1 minute of silence. Technically a John Lennon cover. That's what this is. It is a John Lennon cover.
A minute of silence.
And well, that goes on for another 40 or so seconds. And
Did you want to go on to the Patreons?
the album's not finished, Jerry.
It's sort of... all right, this is what would annoy me. There's another track here. It throws everything off.
No, this is it. This is this little.
Quote,
They're saying some stuff back there. I don't know. All right, fine. All right.
No.
No,
Okay. We're completists.
okay,
We're completists.
okay.
This is what we do.
This is it.
We're here to talk about the music. All the hits.
Okay. And there we go.
The first dropped call.
It's over. You went into this not being super pumped about this album.
Not at all.
How are you feeling now that we've just sort of given it a listen through?
I think like all of the albums we're going to be listening to, there's always like, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to say? What is this endeavor? And this one was one of the easier ones to talk through, to be terribly honest. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but the music wasn't offensive by any stretch of the imagination. I liked a couple songs on it. Would I actually buy it? Would I listen to it again? The banger for me, I mean, the one that really gets out, Beyond the Wheel was
Yeah, that was your
excellent.
favorite.
That was,
Yeah.
but I mean, well, if it's on, I'm not offended.
Yeah.
So,
And some of those earlier songs were real cool. All Your Lies was cool.
Yeah.
There's a few. Yeah.
just nothing like watching grainy footage. And it was a 665 song of this person dancing around on a wheel. And it was like, and I just remember that being burnt in my head. Hey, it's Soundgarden. It's early Soundgarden. I just remember being very like, oh, okay. And then I finally found out what this was on.
Not impressed
But
by that.
tell you one thing, it set a great mood. Great song, good album. Will I look for it? No. It was okay. It was Ultramega OK.
All right. Well, I went in knowing that I love Beyond the Wheel. And I knew All Your Lies I was fond of that one and maybe another. But I feel primed to give new attention to this album. Look, it's never going to be one of my favorite Soundgarden albums. It's probably going to stay right in its current place behind the other albums. But I think I will come to appreciate it more than I have all along. Our website, guys, which you should visit, is thegrungepodcast.com. On that website, you will find links to all of our social media accounts, a form to email us, which you should do at thegrungepodcast@gmail.com. Also on our website is a link to join our Patreon page?
Cult
Thing.
the page.
You can subscribe to our Patreon, and we do bonus episodes that we put exclusively there for our patrons, and we just did one. We jumped ahead a little. We technically cheated. We jumped ahead to do it, but we wanted to do one.
Well, you have to provide for the people who support you, and it was very important to do a good album. One I was not familiar with. It blew me away, and it was well worth the listen and well worth jumping out of our
We did a
timeline.
bonus episode on the debut EP from Mother Love Bone. It was called Shine. I love that fucking EP.
Really good.
I was
Really
pretty
good
pumped
EP.
listening to it. And we do have a whole gang of new patrons on our Patreon account. Let's talk about them. Brenda Cron, thank you very much. Crystal Games, we love you. Thank you very much. Our dude, Andy Warren. You know, Andy had to be on there. Big up, Andy. Marissa Bonaquinto was
Said correctly. Don't correct us. We know.
Ashley, we love you. Thank you, Ashley, coming from Florida, sending us some.
Ooh, the
I
Sunshine
just, I should say her last name, but
Yeah.
it's one of those names.
Let me try. I do this all day.
Okay.
I'm very
okay.
good at this type of thing.
Take a look.
Who
Ashley.
is this? Ashley?
Ashley, right by the top there.
Ashley Dukowitz.
That's not how you do it.
Dukowitz. Ashley Dukowitz.
No,
I'm
no.
not sure that's correct.
Give it to me.
All right, well, shit,
Don't
man.
fucking
Let me
dare
try.
you. Love
Ashley, thank
Love
you.
Ashley. Thank you so much.
From Florida.
And of course, Kate, a.k.a. The Snapper. Thank you so much. This episode, let's be honest, this episode sponsored by Kate. Thank you.
Kate. Well, listen, I think this was one of our best ones.
Well, we've only done like 2 or 3.
It's going to get better from here.
It's only going to get better. It's
can-
only going to get better.
I mean, it cannot get worse.
We're an hour and, 20 minutes almost in
that's
here,
not
hour and 18 minutes. I guess that's long enough, right? We're good.
That satisfies a
We've
lot.
covered it. Hit us up on the social media. Please, by all means, send us some emails. We would love some feedback about about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. You can tell us we're cool or we suck, but I'd love to hear some feedback about the albums.
yeah.
Not that you can really
Or the
hear them.
experiences during them. I mean, like this whole thing is a shared experience. I think once we hit the 90s, like you said, we're going to have experiences. I mean, it's pretty neat what people went through when this was popular.
Maybe it is.
Well, we don't want to shortchange them. Somebody's going to write some shit and say like, "Oh, this is cool." They're going to want to know. Obviously,
Maybe I'm
we
going to
won't.
try to find out which album came out closest to when I lost my virginity. How about that?
I would have to say.
All right,
I
listen,
don't
that's
know.
all. Thank you guys for listening to The Grunge. We'll talk to you soon. Don't be a square.